Okay, how does one start this process? First, we need something to simulate. I figure. Oh, actually, I need to explain what a simulator is first. A simulator, in our case, is going to be a game in which you make your choices before every turn starts. And then the turn starts, and depending on how you set up your character, the way that you chose to. The state of your character turn by turn. Okay, let me back up. Every object in the game has a series of details, and those details give them the ability to interact with the world around it. The world around it is the other objects. And when an object goes to see if it can interact with another object, there's a calculation that's run. And this is where it becomes more of a simulator than a video game. But there will be the whole video game aspect in there. And it would come from the fact that there's a list of checks, a list of realities that could occur, right? The actions that any object could take. And simulators, they're usually just straightforward formulas. They're trying to simulate stuff. They're not trying to give the player the opportunity to play some kind of game world. Simulators are usually designed with the intention of, this is what would happen if this event occurred. So that's what we would do. There would be a world with a whole bunch of objects, and they would just do exactly what the rules are. Now, the video game aspect comes from the fact that the rules would be divided into categories. There would be a categorical list of rules that get placed or get rendered onto every object every turn. And when that category gets tapped, there might be 1 or 2 or 3 different ways it could end up. I guess the idea is for every category, if there is an available action within it, you would take that action. So maybe there might be a category that you don't qualify for, but then maybe there is a category you do qualify for. The gameplay would be, which one do you qualify for the most, and which one did you choose? Other actors in the game world would just go with whatever they qualify most for. The player would be the one who chooses what they're going to do, what they want to try. And maybe they're not so qualified for an option, but they can choose to have that state as the turn starts. Every turn, you choose where you're going to sit. Like, if you have a choice between 2 options, you need to pick that choice before the turn goes, or the computer will just pick the one that's most natural for you. Because that's the whole idea. The simulator is supposed to be attempting to simulate physics, attempting to simulate the change in ideas based on what's in the other ideas around it. You know, when you think about physics, you think about a system, a state of things that give rise to other states of things. Like if I stand on the ground has to support me, right? The earth has to take, like, if it can't support me, the earth would collapse. But the earth can support me, so yin yang, it's all balanced out. There's cause and effect. Everything that happens has cause and effect. And that's the idea of the simulator. If you make a system where cause and effect is just how the rules interact, like how the ideas interact with each other, then you got self-organization. Then you have physics. You have a physics simulator, but with ideas instead of objects. Or, yeah. So, that's where the game aspect of it would arise. And that's how we would have to create the simulator. Tons of categories of ideas that could occur to an object, and the best choice by the computer's priority gets picked. And then back to the whole idea of chaotic unraveling. If there's enough ideas and enough rules, then you won't know what's coming. You won't know what's coming. You won't be able to see how everything influences itself. And you would get randomness, or you would get unpredictability.